our next gland is the pineal gland. And we've actually already discussed what the pineal gland does because it controls circadian rhythm. So you might remember that the pineal gland is located in the epithalamus, which is located here in the back of the diencephalon, which is in the center of your brain. So the circadian rhythm, remember, is your biological clock when you naturally like to wake and sleep. So what happens is that if you look at this chart, on the y-axis is when you have melatonin release. On the x-axis is the time. So white is during the day, black is during the night. Notice when melatonin release is high, during nighttime. Drops during day, rises again at night, drops during the day. So your pineal gland is actually in charge of releasing the melatonin. And what it does is it actually gets information from your eyes, from the light. So when there's light present, your eyes send the signal to the pineal gland and says, hey, it's daytime, let's make sure we're awake, do not release melatonin. And then when no light is present, right, when the pineal gland is not getting any light signals from the eye, it says, hey, it's nighttime, let's release melatonin, and melatonin puts you into the sleep state. The last gland we're going to cover is the pancreas. So I'm sure you might have heard of the pancreas because it is actually involved in controlling blood sugar level, which is an important thing in diabetes. So let's take a look at the pancreas and ultimately see how it relates to diabetes. So here at the pancreas is located posterior to the stomach in your upper left quadrant of your abdomen. If you look at the histology of the pancreas, so take a microscopic view, you'll see pancreatic islets. For example, this is one islet, this huge circle. And your pancreas is just made up of a bunch of pancreatic islets. The important thing is inside the pancreatic islet are two types of cells. You have your alpha cells, which release a hormone called glucagon, and you have your beta cells, which release a hormone called insulin. So let's discuss what glucagon and insulin do. So insulin is probably the one you heard of related to diabetes. For example, people taking insulin injections. What insulin does is it helps take the sugar from your blood and transport it into your body's cells. So that way your cells can use the sugar as convert it into energy that you can use. So again, insulin helps reduce the sugar in your blood because it takes it out of the blood and puts it into your cells to be used as energy. So you'll want, for instance, a lot of insulin after you eat. So right after you eat a heavy meal, you're going to have a lot of sugar in your blood. The pancreas beta cells will release the insulin and therefore take up that blood sugar into your cells for energy. The alpha cells, on the other hand, release a hormone called glucagon. Glucagon does the exact opposite of insulin. It actually helps take your stored up glucose and release it into the blood. So for example, let's say you haven't eaten in a while and your blood sugar level is low. So then your pancreas will use its alpha cells, release glucagon, and then glucagon will release some of the sugar stores. For instance, you might have sugar stores in your liver. So in diabetes mellitus type 1, you might notice these are the people who have to take the insulin injection. The problem with this type of diabetes is that their pancreas beta cells cannot release insulin. And therefore, after they eat a meal, the blood sugar level is really high and it just stays high because they can't get that sugar out of the blood and into their cells, which would result in them having low energy because they can't access that sugar in the blood. So by having the insulin injection, you're artificially putting in the insulin, for instance, right before you eat. So that way, once the sugar gets into the blood, you would have that artificial insulin there to help your body's cells uptake the sugar and use it as energy. So just to summarize the pineal gland and pancreas, pineal gland releases melatonin to control sleep-wake cycle. Pancreas releases glucagon and insulin to control blood sugar level. And to summarize hormones altogether, the endocrine glands secrete hormones into the blood. These hormones target specific cells to have specific effects.